Alright, and welcome to our first of many videos here for the faculty wiki page about how to be, frankly, just a better teacher. I think that's really what Laura and I are here for. My name is Rory Hatfield, as you can see on screen, and with me is my work colleague and fellow full-time live online instructor, Laura Atchison. Laura, thanks so much for joining me today to talk about encouragement, particularly the way our company describes it.
Thank you very much for having me, Rory.
Of course, yeah. And as you can see on the notepad below, which Laura has put up before we started recording, at any time you can actually pause that in case you would like to follow along the directions. But I thought it was interesting that really, Laura, it seems like you define encouragement, as you can see there in Passion Purple on the bottom, is knowing how your students are doing, and you immediately go into something called Goldmine. And for our part-time teachers who may not be as familiar with the lingo, well, what is Goldmine?
Goldmine is a phenomenal tool that we actually have to use when it comes to recording attendance. So this is something that as you go through the teaching process, this is something you become familiar with. What very few teachers know when they first start, though, is that Goldmine is actually a goldmine of information. And so we're actually able to see not only the composite score that our students get on each practice test, but also the breakdown, their essay score, and their percentile.
Now that's some really useful information, particularly since the thrust of our, SAT, ACT, really our pre-college courses, is about getting students, that higher score. And I see that you have the, I also see that you have the specific directions in that notepad as well.
Well, what's really neat about it is it will be downloaded as an Excel spreadsheet, and it's pretty spread out, but you can move things closer together so that even students who experience the dip that we often see them experience on practice test 2 simply because they're learning the methods and it's slowing them down a bit.
Yep.
What's really nice about it is even if the composite score hasn't gone up, you can actually take a look at each of the scaled scores, and the students really love to hear that they've done better in one section or another, and that you've actually taken the time to look at what they've done.
And it seems just like a really, not only does it give that really specific, feedback and really praise when students, do well, which I think they can all respond to. It seems like it's just a much easier, more efficient way to do that, particularly if you have a larger class.
Oh, absolutely. And something that's really nice to see is you can see the overall gains, and you can also say as an overall class, oh, look at this, on practice test 2, our lowest score overall was actually 200 points more than when we took practice test 1 as a group. So even with the students who are seeing steady but not amazing progress right away, when they hear about as a group they're part of this team that's getting a higher score overall, that really helps with encouragement as well.
And speaking of, again, that, using that data to really encourage students, you also mentioned about you can do a similar thing when you look at students' homework progress in Smart Track, which I see below.
Well, that's a really neat thing because it comes up as just a percentage. So you can actually have homework leaders, and each time you go into the classroom, you can let them know who's doing a great job on their homework. And not in a way that you're admonishing the students who haven't done their homework, but really just pointing out the students who've taken the time to either do the work before class, or if at the very least they're doing the quizzes after class. It helps them to realize that, yes, it's a lot of work, but there are people who are doing it. And with the information from Goldmine, you can actually match that up. The higher percentage of homework oftentimes is linked with a higher score as they go through practice tests 2, 3, and 4.
And I just think that is just a great way to really leverage all the data that we have and present it in a way that really just encourages our students. And okay, I'll tell you, really in the interest of keeping these very brief yet still informative, I think I'm just gonna thank Laura. Thank you, Laura, for being here with me today. And if you have any questions about these really just tools, I suspect that they can email you, right, Laura? Just at laura.atchison@kaplan.com.
That's right. I'll go ahead and type it in our notepad. Please email me anytime. If you have a question, I most likely have an answer. If I am not the one to answer the question, I know the person who can. So I'll be happy to pass along any questions that are talking about some things that may be out of my personal area of expertise, but certainly there's someone at Kaplan who can help.
And just to further plug Laura there, she's given me some great tips, not just about actually accessing data, but really just how to get really how to encourage students as a class. You know, whether it's breaking them up into teams or assigning pretty awesome mascots. But in the spirit of the SAT, we're getting into out of scope territory, so I'll leave you with that. Laura, thanks so much for giving this for being here to really transmit this information for our teachers.
Thank you.